Hello, my name is Buster UV and welcome back to another episode of my Minecraft 1.19 series here in Middle-earth. And you have just caught me today stocking up on emeralds, or at least repairing my weapons, because they are now, well, they've had mending on them for some time. But now I have an actual viable way of getting them all mended back up every single time I use them. So, what else have I been doing? Well, quite a bit actually, to be honest with you. In fact, let me just show you. We have been spending some time here in the villager trading hall, trading up all manners of things, items, and stuff. And as you can see, I am getting a nice healthy little section of emeralds here, and I will probably be using emeralds for my beacon, or iron, you know, whichever. I have enough now. And I've also been creating getting them up to their master forms by getting axes and just sort of trading with them all sorts of useless things that I don't necessarily need, but also things that I do need, like ender pearls, redstone. Yeah, there's a lot in here, and it's actually been quite good to get into this sort of work and get it all sorted. But what else have we been doing as well whilst you guys have been away? Quite a bit. Aside from trading with villagers, we have also been planning on creating our flower gardens. That's right. I have been wanting to make a flower garden. I've wanted to make a giant wheat field. I've also been wanting to make a giant sugarcane field, not farm, I already have one of those. And you can do that with all of these things that we've got. I've been getting so much sugarcane from this farm here that I really don't know what to do with. I have got a massive wheat field here, which has supplied me with tons of seeds. And I was right next to a meadow as well, so I was able to get tons of flowers. And I have just built it off camera. We're just going to show you it now in the form of a little quick time lapse. And I say quick, this was not quick to do at all. But I think why not just jump straight into this episode with a nice little time lapse. Ready, set, go! here we have it. Look, it's so cute, and it doesn't look like much until you get over the hill here, and then you can really see how far it stretches. This was a lot of flowers that took to get to this point, and the majority of them are poppies, and that's for an obvious reason. I have an iron farm. Poppies come with the iron golems. Yeah, you can see why I've made it the way I have. And we've just been setting up these little paths here just to kind of bridge out and, show the sort of routes that you would want to take, ideally, when you're walking along these paths. Now, over there is the savannah. I don't really want to be going too far savannah-wide. I kind of want to leave that bit where it is and sort of not come back to it, to be honest with you. However, the fields do stretch on quite far in this direction. And, there's a beehive. And also, I'm thinking that once I've kind of created these sorts of fields and outlets in this area, and then extended out pathways into this area, then it would be time really for us to move on to the next part of our adventure. But I think we're getting a little bit too far ahead of ourselves. Let me just take you through to the sugarcane farm. Running up this path now, you can see it. It's just in the distance there. And these fields are not to be farmed at all, to be honest with you. They are literally here for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is for them to be aesthetic. I really don't want to turn this into me having to run around and manually collect everything. This is the reason why I have actual automated farms. So all of these paths were created for a reason, and that reason alone was going to be for today's episode, but I've decided against it just because I'm not in that frame of mind yet, and there is a more pressing farm that I want to build in the interim period. And down here you can see this was where the spider spawners were. I have been, as it stands at the moment, just sort of running around it a little bit, throwing in some light bulbs. Yeah, some light bulbs, that works. Throwing in some lights just to try and, despawnify the area. Die already. There we go. Just to sort of make sure that nothing kind of spawns in this area, and to just make my life a little bit easier when I do go down there and actually start to turn the spider spawners into farms. I don't really need it for experience. I don't really need it just because, but it is a great supply of spider eyes and of string, which comes in very useful, to be honest with you. Now, speaking of iron farms, I have got one which needs to be covered. That's right, we said all along that I was not going to be leaving any farm uncovered, and the iron farm is no different. So I think it's probably about time that we just quickly jump into that now. Again, it's another time lapse. Be prepared. This is time lapse heavy. On your marks, get set, build. And here we have it. It's finally done. I couldn't be happier with it. I mean, actually, that is a complete lie. I could be happier with it. This thing is massive. Look at the size of it. I knew it was going to be big because, I mean, let's face it, in order for it to spawn properly, there has to be certain height restrictions to it. But I didn't think it was going to turn out quite like this, to be honest with you. Now, this does still produce iron. I have done some sneaky things with it in terms of here you can see you've got you've got dark oak trapdoors, and then anything that's on the inside is also been spawn proofed as well with slabs, and by making sure that there is enough gaps in between the spawner and the actual walls themselves. This means that the villagers still produce iron golems, and this also means that the farm still functions as it should do. It is a bit too stark. I mean, look at it. It's in keeping with the same theme as the villager trading hall, which is dark oak, spruce, and birch. It's just too big. It just kind of stands out. I mean, at the end of the day, this is meant to be Hobbiton, and I've created something which looks like it's a giant tower. What I'm gonna do with it, I'm not 100% sure yet. I think I'm just gonna mess around with it in a creative test world and just see what I can actually do with this in terms of making it look more like it fits in with the actual surrounding. Because at the moment in time, it stands out like a sore thumb. I'm thinking of turning it into something like a clock tower maybe. Perhaps maybe doing a little bit more in terms of adding some more decorations onto it, making it feel a little bit more sort of lived in. I don't know. I mean, we have got plenty of time in which to be deciding that, because at the end of the day, this is my long-term world, so there's no rush. I'm certainly not going anywhere. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not. However, the sun has set, the moon is out, and there is far more pressing things that I have to be getting on with. And those, to be honest with you, is a farm I've been wanting to develop for some time. I've been watching some tutorials on it, and I've kind of had a thought about where I want to go with that. In case you hadn't guessed already, I wanted to make, or at least I do want to make, a sheep farm. That's right, I have been spending some time off camera gathering sheep, dyeing them their 16 respective colours, I hope there's 16 in here at least, and then penning them in so that they can't escape. I have got a lot of work to do with this. So, where do I want to go with my little sheep farm? Pretty simple, to be honest with you. I want to make one of the automated farms where the sheep are sheared and then they can't do anything else but get sheared every single time, and that will give me an almost limitless supply of wool. I have got in here a bunch of shears which I've been crafting up, and there is more in these other chests as well. I also have redstone in this box as well for you. So we've also got observers, we've got dispensers, which I believe is the one to use, not the dropper, and then also some wood as well, and some redstone, and some hobs and some chests. And what I'm effectively looking at doing here is creating this so it fits in with the actual surroundings, because a lot of the tutorials that you tend to watch, they tend to just make glass houses and then just stick them all in there. It looks cute, it looks very pride themed, it's very on brand, but yeah, that does not work when it comes to my Middle-earth medieval style building. It would look so out of place, it would look weird, to be perfectly honest with you. I want to create something more akin to a barn and have them all laid out in their little colours. So for example, going all the way from here, from white to like grey, black, and then so on and so forth until we get to the end of the spectrum on this side. And effectively we can still have it rainbow style, but it just won't be in glass, it will be in a more of a barnyard structure. I've been wanting to sing the rainbow song since I started singing rainbows. I'm not going to, I promise you, I'm not going to. You can if you want to though, just do it in the comments. And I'm thinking to myself, the best way of doing this is to create a storage system which is easy enough for me to gain access to, it can sit underneath, and then to lead them in one by one. How to do that though is the big question. Now, from my past experiences, this sort of stuff has never gone right the first time round, but I'm thinking that we give it a go as it stands here. So, I'm thinking if we're going to be making this 16, we'll want to do it so that it's somewhat like this. each one of these will be where we will have the dispensers. Here, nope, wrong way. Here, nope. Dispensers are hard. What will happen in this bit is the dispenser will have the shears in them. And so we can then create a box which is going to come out like this. And then obviously the sheep will sit here. And then it will be encased in, and that way then it can't go anywhere. Now I know what you're thinking, what about this back bit? Well, you can actually fit stairs there and have them go, not like that because that looks absolutely gross, and have them go like that. And this then will create a more sort of appealing structure, because I'm then going to be able to build it up, across and down and turn this into an actual farm. How does the mechanism work for us creating the farm itself? So the actual collection system. I hear you all asking. I just know that that's the question in your minds. Pretty simple, to be honest with you. So starting from the back bit here, what you'll want to do is place an observer there. The observer itself will face outwards, and what this means for us is that we can then do this, and all you need to do is place a solid block there which is not dirt, so something which is going to transmit a redstone signal, and then it will power this block here. So placing a solid block here and then adding on top of the solid block a piece of redstone dust is going to power this one and the observer at the bottom as well. Easy enough at this point. All you need to do now is create the actual collection system, and that's going to go further down here. First thing you want to do is place down a chest in this direction, and then you're going to want to place a hopper going on top of that, so leading into it. So crouch and then jump, and then once you place it down you can see there's a little lead there. That is leading into here. You can test this if you want to just by throwing something in, and you can see it led straight back into the chest. On top of the chest you're going to want to go down with a minecart rail, and then finally you'll want to piece together a hopper minecart and place that on top of this. You don't necessarily have to break it. It really doesn't make a difference at this point, to be honest with you. I'm just not going to go through that process and that struggle. And then on top, a glass block. Now, did you hear the click? The click means that this is now primed. So what will happen is when the sheep is sat in here, it will eat the grass, which it can still get to because these blocks still act as grass blocks. They still let the sun in and they're classified as clear. And it means that once this turns green and the sheep eats it, it's going to be detected, and that's what's going to shear it. The wool will fire straight down into here, which is then collected in here. Easy as that. Now, if you really wanted to, you can make a collection system which is a little less problematic, I will say, than this. But this will get covered up, and this will actually be done whereby you are able to access it and it's not going to look completely stupid. So for example, even if you just do this and then cover these sections up like so, you can still access the actual chest itself. There is a question mark about how I'm going to finish this whole thing off, but I think for now that will do. But I have just cleared out all of the rain. I think now is the time to get a sheep in here, and let's see just what we can do. I'm going to stick one up there and one up there, and let me find myself a lead, and let's lead one in. Okay, lead grabbed. I think now is the time that we select our first sheep. Yeah, it's gonna have to be the black one. You. Okay, come on. Move out of the way. Out of the way. No. Yes, good. Right, okay, there we go. One sheep down. Okay, you're gonna go on here. And all I'm gonna do is just push you in ever so gently. In you go. Come on. This is gonna be like working with villagers, isn't it? In you go. In. There we go. One down. And now I just have many more to go. I pray for my sanity at this point. I am just gonna be spending some time just sorting these out. Okay, we've made some progress. We've made some headway with it. So effectively, we have all of these underground passages which are going to lead in here. Now, I am going to be changing all of this out not obviously to stone, but these sections will be just to kind of make it feel a little bit more cobbled, like you take steps down to get to the storage system, and then obviously everything's going to be from there. If we want to see how it's currently looking, yep, we've got 7 black wool already, so it's doing its business, it's doing what it needs to do. Let's get the rest of these sheep into their pets. Well, luckily I have you, so you're the first one, and you can come straight out. Come on. No, there we go. Right, next one. You, the light grey sheep. Now, here's the question. Should white be at the very, very end, or should white be there? I kind of feel like white should be next. I'm sure I'm overthinking it. I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments. Now, all I need to do is just get the rest of these little animals into their pensies. This took a while just to get to this point. So I think, yep, you guessed it. It's it's time for time lapse 3. I'm sorry, but I'm also not sorry at the same time. So if you're ready, set, let's herd some sheep. It is done, finally. Look, it's rainbow coloured. It runs all the way down from one side to the other, just where I wanted it to be. And I've also put up some extra storage of shears in these sections as well. Now, it's not working the way I want it to, as you can see. That's because, unfortunately, there is going to be a bit of a problem when it comes to the front. You see, whenever you're using something like fence posts occupy half of the space. Now, the problem with that is when you are trying to collect something from underneath, i.e. you're trying to just do a 1-block collection system, this is going to be a problem. Now, I'm not 100% bothered about this being too efficient. I mean, this has been running whilst I've been building, and as you can see, I've started to get a good store of wool. I mean, it's better than if I just stood here shearing them myself. And I think that if we just leave it to the point where it's just going to collect everything, it's going to be fine. I'm not too worried about there being stuff left over. I think we can just deal with this as is. After all, predominantly I'm kind of after this to look good, I suppose, rather than it be, you know, workable. I want both. I'm after both. I'm after this to look like it fits in the world, and I'm also after it to work properly. So I guess there's going to be a little bit of tweaking here and there, which unfortunately means messing around with it more than what I would like. However, I have decided that we just need to dress this up just a little bit and just make this look a little bit more like it's supposed to blend in with the surroundings. And I have a few things here. It's predominantly going to be made out of spruce because it just always seems to be the block of choice, I guess. And we're just going to make up something which is just going to be a little barnyard style shack in a way, sort of. Okay, I think that this will do at the moment, and then what I think we're going to do is go across with some stairs. Okay, that's not so bad, just one step up, and then I think we'll go again this way. Yeah, this so far is looking kind of cute. I think we probably just want to build up this back bit a little bit better, like that, so that's all built up. Now we just need to finish off the stairs on this bit. I think we can add into here some spruce trapdoors, just to make it sort of look like we've nailed the wood in there. Cute. The back, she's a little rough because she's all just one colour, but you know, I won't say anything if you won't. I think we'll just hide that for now. Okay, that looks pretty cute. I think it just needs a little bit more of a dipping about for me to just sort of mess around with it, play about with it, and just kind of change it up a little bit. But I've added up to the top here some spruce trapdoors, just so that then the ridge, which happens from this point to that point, doesn't seem so forced. What I might do is actually place another set of stairs, so that then if you're looking at it from this perspective, it looks a little bit more like it's kind of resting in between the two stair loads, so almost like they are support beam logs. So if we do that and then take a step back, yeah, it just makes it look a little bit better in the sense that it doesn't feel quite so strung up. Either way. But for what it is and for what it's worth, I am actually very happy with this. This looks really good. I am a little bit miffed about the fact that I can't get this to be 100% perfect because they're always going to jump forward. I am going to have to run up and down every now and again just to even catch some of the wool, and it's a lot of wool as well. So there may be a difference next time. Perhaps maybe I switch this out with glass. I'm not 100% sure. And then I don't like the thought of using glass on it because it's so not in keeping with the actual theme. But for now, I think it looks really good. I think it kind of fits in with the landscape pretty well, to be honest with you. I'm happy with how it is. We're just gonna update and do a little bit more as time goes on, which is kind of the theme of this world, to be honest with you. We sort of build something and then we kind of play around with it, mess about with it, and make it look good as time happens. I mean, ultimately, that's kind of what we've been doing to the entirety of this server, which I'm not mad about, to be honest with you. But for now, I think what we've done is actually pretty good. We have created some fields, which I've got all the way over there. It's probably too far out for me to see. The giant tower that now covers our iron farm, and of course, the sheep farm as well. So yeah, this has been a bit of a behind the scenes, do it a little bit, you know, kind of time-lapsey episode. But for what it's worth, we have still done quite a lot together. And yeah, this is easier than what I thought it was going to be, especially considering that I didn't go the same route that everybody else does. Anyway, you guys, that is all I have time for today. If you like what you saw here today, then why don't you leave a like on this video? Maybe even leave a comment. I'd love to know your thoughts on everything that we're currently doing here in Middle-earth. And of course, whilst you're there, why don't you hit that subscribe button as well? Because, you know, I need all the help I can get. And of course, I will be here with you next week as well, just to, you know, adventure a little bit more, do some more things, maybe prepare for a little dragon fight. Who knows? Who knows how I'll be feeling? But until that time, you guys, I am going to sign off. I am Buster UV, and I hope you've enjoyed your time. I will see you next week. Bye. Bye, bye, bye.